Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Ron-Raack, 10580 Southeast 131st Place, Ocklawaha. Brought some paper with me, which I normally never do, but after the last meeting, there's some things that I wanted to bring up that I made sure I don't forget. First of all, Mr. Zalek, I want to commend you on one thing.
Yes, sir.
Out of all of the bios, you're the only one that mentioned the Constitution. And the little county council bios about, who you are. You, sir, are the only one that mentioned the Constitution.
Well, I appreciate that, but I think my fellow commissioners as well do certainly appreciate the Constitution.
Well,
heard them
they
work with them
certainly didn't
year after
mention
year.
it.
I understand.
Yeah.
But they live by it.
That says a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Here's a simple question. When is it okay to do what is wrong?
Never.
Is it ever okay to do what is, even if something good comes out of doing wrong, is it still okay to do wrong? No. We all know that, right? It's simple. What do you call it when you take something that doesn't belong to you?
Stealing.
Come on, it's simple, right? It's called stealing. What do we call it if a group of people get together, and this actually happens a lot, and I don't know, you don't hear as much of it today as you did back in perhaps the 20s and 30s, and in particular up in New York City, where they would go to places and say, where's our weekly money here? Or we're going to break your legs, break your arms, take your property, whatever. What do we call that?
That's called the VIG.
It's called extortion, right? It's called extortion. Well, as I considered all these things, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. What happens if I don't pay my property tax? The people, you guys, take something that doesn't belong to you that actually belongs to me. What's the difference? What's the difference? I would like somebody to explain the difference between the mafia going in and extorting people and breaking legs and what you guys do when you take a person's property for not paying extortion money, because that's what it is. You're taking something that you have no legal right to. None. And listen, I understand it takes money to run a county. Here's the problem. If you've never read the Federalist Papers, I suggest you read them. But more importantly, read the Anti-Federalist Papers. Because the Anti-Federalist Papers, they were very, very scared about what was going to happen if government got big. The problem with big government is you have to do what? You got to pay for it somehow. Well, who's going to pay for it? The government? No, because the government doesn't produce anything. The government takes. That's all they do. The government doesn't make jobs. They don't. You don't have a product that you can put on the market and sell. There's nothing there. And so the problem is as government gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the burden is placed on the people. And you guys take from the people what really doesn't belong to you. Well, how do we take care of our county? You know how we take care of our county? We take care of it the way they did back in the olden days. The people take care of the county. We've got, listen, I went through the check register from May until, I don't know, July or whatever it went through. Why is the county paying for Zumba classes? Why is the county paying for yoga classes? It's right there, July 14th. They didn't pay for my Zumba class or my yoga class. Why did the county pay for 5 cremations? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I've actually got all this stuff on a private server and all these. As a matter of fact, I've told you guys before, this is being simulcasted around the world.
Not on the same server. It's not on the same Hillary Clinton server, though, right?
No, this is on a,
Not a private server?
no.
Okay.
But guys, and I'm glad we can have a little bit of levity, but come on, man, this is serious.
It is serious.
No, but the answer to
We're
your
messing
question,
with people's lives here.
no, the answer to your question though is that first of all, the taxing authority is given to us by the state constitution, and it is levied by the state constitution under statute. I mean, that is how we have the authority to even assume to levy taxes. The Zumba and yoga classes are reimbursed through Blue Cross Blue Shield because they want us to have a healthy workforce. So the taxpayers are not paying for those things. So just to answer a couple of your questions, I mean, I know that looks weird because you see it on the check registry, and it is weird. And I think all of the commissioners have asked those questions at the same time. And we know that if Blue Cross Blue Shield knows as an insurance agency, they can help us to have a more healthy workforce. That workforce will continue to have less expense on an insurance process. And that's all it is. It's a reimbursement. And I understand your concern. I mean, I get it.
Okay, well, and I see what you're saying about the state, and if I could just have maybe another minute here.
Sure.
Because
I asked you a question.
we're having an actual conversation here.
Absolutely.
For once. You guys have already agreed that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land.
Correct.
So when you've got a law that contradicts a law, which one do we follow? You have to follow the supreme law.
Absolutely, but
So
the
if Florida
does not under section, what is it, 10? It does not tell the state that it cannot have property taxes. Listen, I get it. I mean, Marco Rubio, when he was the speaker, he wanted to change it from property tax by counties to a sales tax, which is by far a more equitable way to do that.
Well, and it's actually constitutional.
And it's actually absolutely. But I'm just saying that the Constitution of the United States does not prohibit a state from making a decision to charge property taxes.
No direct tax shall be laid.
Yeah.
It's as plain as day. And blacks
By the federal government.
No, because
Yes, sir.
because Article 6 of the Constitution limits the states. The states under Article 6 have to read it for yourself. Read Article 6 of the Constitution. All states that come under the Constitution have to follow the Constitution as the supreme law of the land. And this is where we have these problems, is contradictions. But one last comment, and I'll bid you guys good day. Listen, if you guys aren't willing to die and fight for freedom, to be honest with you, you shouldn't even be up there. And I don't know whether you are. I'm just making that as a blanket statement because I don't know where you guys are. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and one last thing, because Kathy had said something to Hagan about being friends.
Well, she's not here.
I know, but she'll watch this, I'm sure. But let me just say this. If you're an enemy of liberty and freedom, we can never be friends. We can never be friends. And with that, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks a lot for your time.
Ron,
Have a great
on the cremation issue,
Oh,
let me
yeah,
just
I didn't
speak to
address that,
that. So there are people that absolutely refuse to pay to dispose of a body of their next of kin, and it's a large process that we have to go through to try and find the next of kin and do all those kinds of things, and they absolutely refuse to do that. Therefore, it's the most humane way of then disposing of the body, and that's something that's left to local government. And so,
And sometimes the family does come back and they'll
do.
purchase the ashes, but a lot of times they don't.
Okay.
So
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for the time. I appreciate the actual conversation today.
thank you,
really
Mr. Rack. Appreciate you too, sir.